Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me. If this is your first time to my channel, I hope you consider subscribing. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and share with friends and family. It'll help my channel grow. And don't forget to click on that bell button so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. So for today's tutorial, you're going to need 6 of these 8x10 wood style picture frames. At least these are the ones that I chose to use. So what you're going to do is go ahead and remove everything from your picture frame, including the little tabs that are in the back. And you easily just get some pliers or some scissors and just go ahead and pull them straight out to remove those so the frame won't break. So once you've done that to all 6 of your frames, what we're going to do next is go ahead and start gluing them together. And I'm putting 2 on each row. So it'll be 3 rows of 2. And I'm using E6000 and some hot glue to glue these together. And basically I just add a little bit of E6000, and then in between wherever I didn't add E6000, I add a little bit of hot glue, and then just kind of push them together and squeeze them for a little bit just so to allow the hot glue to dry. And then I continue to do that to all of my picture frames. Now the next row, what you're going to do is actually add E6000 to the bottom of one frame, and the bottom of both frames, and in the middle part of one frame. And then you just add the hot glue to all the areas where you added E6000 in order to glue it to the other 2 frames. I chose these wood color ones because at the beginning I thought I would want them to be wood color. But you guys let me know once this video is done and you see it on the wall. Should I keep it this color, brown, the wood tone colors, or should I paint it like a white wash? I'm still undecided of what how I'm going to end up leaving them. But if you follow me on Instagram, you'll find out, because I'll post a picture if I end up leaving them as is the wood color or if I do paint them white. So once you're done adding glue and E6000 to all your 6 frames and you glue them together, allow them to dry for at least a good 5-10 minutes before you flip them over. And then once they are dry, what I did to secure them just a little bit more was add some popsicle sticks. And when I added the popsicle sticks in between each one of them, basically where they all attached, I just glued those popsicle sticks with hot glue. So just go ahead and do that to all your frames. And you can add as many or as you like of these popsicle sticks. Basically, like I said, I just added them wherever there was a connection from one frame to another. So that's how I did it. Go ahead and set that aside, and then you get a hula hoop and remove the sticker from the hula hoop, and then you're going to cut your hula hoop in half. Now you're going to get some of this contact wood style paper, and there's squares on this paper, so I cut 5 squares and counted 5 squares and then cut the row out, and I cut 2 strips of it. Now what I'm going to do is basically wrap this paper around the hula hoop, the half of the hula hoop. And to cut the hula hoop, all I did was basically use some scissors. There's an opening on one of the hula hoop ends already where it's attached. Just go ahead and pop that part open and then just cut the other side with some scissors. So when you start wrapping your wallpaper, just go ahead and try to pull it to make sure that it's not loose on the other side of your hula hoop. And I did it this way. Basically, put the hula hoop in the center of the paper and then wrapped one side first and then kind of rubbed it and tightened it, and then wrapped the other side, pulling it, making sure it's nice and secure, and then wrapping it towards the other part of the contact paper, if that makes sense. So that's how it looks, and then you just do that to both sides. And just go ahead and tighten it as much as you can, pulling it as you rub it down. And if you have this paper, because sometimes it doesn't have really good adhesive, if that happens, what I usually use is some super glue or E6000, and I just rub it in there a little bit and kind of just allow it to dry for a few minutes before I do anything else. So once you're done with that, this is the way it's going to look. And you see that I'm just kind of rubbing it, the paper, to make sure it's as smooth as possible and it sticks right. So there you have it. Now what you're going to do is get 2 popsicle sticks, and we're going to put them at either end of this hula hoop, or the half of the hula hoop. And the way I did that, again, was adding some E6000 and hot glue to my popsicle stick and then inserting it into the opening of the hula hoop. And what I did was use my scissors or some fingers or something sharp that fits into the hula hoop opening and kind of push it down to make sure it's nice and secure. And I did like half of the popsicle stick. So just go ahead and push it down to make sure it stays in place. And another thing is you need to make sure that your popsicle stick is laying flat the way your hula hoop is going to be connected to your picture frames. So make sure the popsicle sticks are laying flat in the same way on both sides. So just go ahead and insert your popsicle stick, push it down and allow it to dry. And here you can see I just used some scissors just to kind of push it in there to make sure that it was nice and secure inside. And there you have it. And see how it's nice and flush to the desk or wherever your working space is at. So next you're going to need some of these painter sticks, or you can even get some of the large popsicle sticks from Walmart. I know they have some longer ones, but I had these, so this is what I'm using. Go ahead and get 3 painter sticks and kind of even them out, making sure the center painter stick is in the middle of your half of your hula hoop or half circle. And all I did was add a little bit of hot glue just to secure it to the hula hoop. You'll see what I do next after that. And then I just added a little bit of popsicle sticks to the bottom of where I glued it, because you need to make sure that it's going to be nice and leveled when you add your frames. So another thing is also make sure that you're gluing your popsicle sticks up high, and that's where your front is going to be. Make where you glue your painter sticks, they need to be standing up high, and that's going to be the front. So make sure that wherever your contact line is at, where it's stuck to, it's in the back, if that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense. So once they're all glued, just like that, remember they're just with hot glue, so kind of be careful. Flip it over to where it's going to be the back part of your hula hoop or your window. And what I'm going to do here is add some E6000 to a popsicle stick and a little bit of hot glue just to make sure it stays in place while it dries, and add it to my hula hoop and my painter stick, just like this. And kind of push down on it and then hold it there for a few seconds to allow it to dry. And you do that to all 3 of your painter sticks. Once they're all completely dried, what you're going to do is get your frame, and now working with the back side of your frame, we're going to glue. The first thing we're going to do is glue the middle painter stick to your middle of the both picture frames, to make sure that it's all centered. And the way I glued it, again, was E6000 and some hot glue. And to be honest with you, you'll see that I come up with using super glue, because for some reason it wasn't sticking strong. The hot glue wasn't like strong enough for it to stay in place once you start making that arch with your hula hoop, because it's, pressured. So I found that using some super glue, it worked really, really good. You just added the super glue and hot glue the same way, and you'll see that you have to hold it for a few seconds and it stays perfectly fine in place. So that's what I ended up doing. So I recommend you using some super glue and hot glue to attach your hula hoop to your frames. because you see that I had to keep putting something heavy, and it just kept like popping out because of the pressure. So again, use super glue and your hot glue gun for this part. And here you see me with my super glue. So go ahead and just add a little bit to your frame, and then you add your hula hoop and hot glue. These are really tall. They're, I think about an inch. I think it was an inch smaller than 4 feet. So I would say it's 4 feet tall. Just depending on how high you put your hula hoop on top of your windows. If that makes sense, that's going to determine the height of your actual frame window completely done. So see how it works so much easier with the super glue. So I do highly, highly recommend you use super glue. So go ahead, and then I just added some hot glue and inserted it where the grooves are at for my frames. And now once those are done and you've attached your hula hoop to your frames and the center painter stick to your frames, now we're going to work with the 2 other painter sticks. And basically I'm just going to attach them right in the center of my frames as well. And I just glued one, and then I glued the other one on top of the second painter stick. You guys let me know in the comments down below where you'll be placing yours. I'm putting mine in my dining room table, my dining room wall. And let me know what color also you're going to be painting yours. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to leave them as is, the wood tone colors, or if I'm going to paint them white. But once you're done and you've allowed everything to dry, go ahead and flip it over. And if you see any of your painter stick coming from your frame, just go ahead and get a box cutter and kind of just mark it and groove it, and then get some scissors or pliers and just pop it off. And it should pop off easily if you've scored it a few times with your box cutter. Once everything's done, just go ahead and remove any of the hot glue or strings that you have anywhere. And what I used was some antique wax from Waverly chalk paint, and I only had a little bit in here left. Actually added a little bit of water to mine, and then I'm just going to kind of dry brush and paint first the painter sticks and the hula hoop, and then I'm going to kind of just brush on whatever's left on my brush to my frames, just to make it all as even as possible with the color of the frames to match the top of my window or my arch. So you just go ahead and do that until you're happy with the color that you've painted your arch. And it doesn't take very long. Like I said, I just didn't have that much paint, so I'm kind of just dry brushing it. So it's taking me a little bit while longer, but it does, I did like the end result. I had been wanting some of these for so long, and I just couldn't figure out how to make the arch. And I didn't want to use just like cardboard or the project boards that you can get at Dollar Tree. I wanted it to be nice and sturdy. And I don't know, for some reason, I was looking at hula hoops that I had a few of them still left, and it just came to me that I could use it for my window. Which I'm so happy I did, because with one hula hoop, you can make both windows. So basically, for both windows, you're going to be roughly under $20 to make both windows, which is extremely budget friendly for these kinds of windows, because one window can cost you easily over $60. So to make 2 of them this tall, this big, for under $20 is just amazing to me. So you just go ahead and again, just paint it as much as you like, just to make it evened out. And when you're done and happy, this is the way it's going to look. And here it is, the wood tone colors. And I just added one of my reef decors that I made in the center. Here it is with nothing. And here it is again with better lighting. I hope you can see it better. So you guys let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Until next time, take care. Bye.